speaker for the class of 2019, I would like to say how honored I have been to represent the student body of Marshall High School for the past 3 years. Furthermore, thank you students and teachers for serving to inspire me every single day. One of the many teachers who inspires the class of 2019 is Mr. Andrew Litteris, who I have the honor of introducing today. Although I never had Mr. Litteris as a teacher myself, I remember the year he began teaching at Marshall. Students would rave about his teaching skills and his ability to relate to every scholar, and I can confidently say how envious I am to never have him as a teacher. Even though I never had Mr. Litteris in a class setting as my teacher, I have seen him plenty around the school. He never fails to attend school events and be involved in the Marshall school community, whether it be mascotting as the Marshall Griffin, being a teacher sponsor for the class of 2020, coaching swimming dive, and of course, teaching environmental science classes. Even today, I remember a time in the beginning of the year when I happened to be in Mr. Litteris' classroom studying for IV biology. I asked him what the difference between diastolic and systolic pressure was, and at the time, he must have thought how odd it was that a random student he didn't teach asked him this, knowing that he wasn't a biology teacher. Nonetheless, he still sifted through whatever resources he had available to explain the concept. His selfless nature and passion for teaching is exactly why I am extremely honored to introduce Mr. Litteris as our faculty speaker. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Andrew Litteris.
Starting yet, I'm already emotional. Thank you for that. Class of 2019, you know, in my career as a teacher, I've seen some pretty ingenious senior pranks before, but I've got to hand it to you, choosing me as the graduation speaker is probably my favorite senior prank today. Thank you for that. In all seriousness, though, it is an incredible honor to be standing before you this afternoon. Mr. Bell informed me after the selection process that I'm the first science teacher to have been selected in over a decade. But by the time I'm done up here today, it's probably going to be at least another 20 years until no one's chosen. Get ready, class of 2039. As I sat down and started thinking of ideas here, I had a pretty difficult time coming up with a speech that I thought was going to be worthy of delivering to the largest graduating class in George C. Marshall history. I was bouncing ideas off of friends and family. I started writing a few drafts, all of which ended up in the recycling bin after only a paragraph or two. But finally, about a week and a half ago, I was going through what I call my important documents box, because I'm not quite a functioning adult who knows how to file things like birth certificate, medical bills, tax forms, all those things. Just throw them right in the box. But I came across an old book that most education majors end up reading by the time they graduate from college. The book is titled, All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. It is composed of a couple dozen short essays based on basic life lessons, such as sharing, playing fair, and enjoying the occasional afternoon nap. It's a book that I would describe as both cute and inspirational, kind of like myself. As I thumbed through this book for the first time in about 6 years or so, I realized that I finally had the basis for this speech today. It wasn't good enough as is, though. I decided I had to put my own unique Northern Virginia twist on it. Now, to build on that, those of you who know me know that I am a pretty die-hard Washington Nationals fan. This, combined with the 30-something-year-old book and my apparent lack of fear of public speaking, led me to write this speech. This is my magnum opus. Now, seeing as I've never actually had to give a speech to this many people before, I'm used to about 28, 16-year-olds talking about pollution. This is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I decided that I needed a little extra help today. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce to you the 26th President of the United States, Mr. Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy, how's it going today? You doing all right? Awesome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I certainly appreciate it. We'll try to keep this short. Only another 30 minutes or so. This speech is titled, All I Really Need to Know, I Learned from the Racing Presidents. Lesson number 1. If at first you don't succeed, try again. This one is pretty straightforward. Things will not go your way from time to time. No matter what your goal is, passing an IB, ESS, EK on the first try, getting into that dream college, asking out that cute boy from Algebra 2 from 3 years ago, chances are you may run into some setbacks. These setbacks may seem impossibly daunting, and it is going to be pretty easy to get discouraged. You may think your goals are impossible, but remember, persistence is the key to success. My friend Teddy here lost his first 525 president's races at Nationals Park. That is not a great record. Far from it. My man lost every single race from July 21st, 2006 to October 3rd, 2012. He's doing the math. It's a big number. It's a long time. It would have been very easy for Teddy to give up after the first 300 or so losses, but the hero of San Juan Hill was determined to win, and that's exactly what he did end up doing. Although he still has some work to do to catch up to George, Tom, and Abe in the President's Race standings, he does continue to be a fierce competitor, and again, that is due to his persistence, which is the key to success. Lesson number 2. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Teddy here has certainly won his fair share of races through some rather questionable methods. I've witnessed not only Mr. Roosevelt, but all the other Rushmore 4 calling some friends to help them get an advantage in that president's race. Friends ranging from all walks of life, such as the Washington Nationals grounds crew, mascots from other DC sports teams, Slapshot, G-Wiz, Jack the Bulldog. The Easter Bunny's gotten involved, a 6'2" man dressed as an ice cream cone, that was bizarre, and even a masked wrestler known as Crab Nachos Libre. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. This is one of my favorite lessons and one that I wish I had listened to earlier on in my career. As I continue my 28th trip around the sun, only 28, I realize more and more every day that life can be pretty difficult. Without help and encouragement from my friends, family, and colleagues, the immense number of classes, clubs, sports, and activities that I participate in at GCM would be darn near impossible to keep up with. I have an amazing support system, and they make my job and my life so much more enjoyable. Whether it's help moving into a new apartment, help studying for college finals, or some help regarding mental health, just look around you. This is a room full of people who both love and support you. Help will be offered to those who have the courage to ask. Lesson number 3. No matter what happens in the race, just have fun with it. This is my socially acceptable way of saying that life is going to be weird. You've got to learn to roll with the punches. Sometimes life is just a straight race and you've got to run in a straight line for 30 seconds. Other times you have to stop and dance for a little while before continuing the race. I could have done it better myself. And other times you have to completely stop racing altogether because the Easter Bunny blindsides you with a flying tackle from the stands along the first baseline. The point I'm trying to make is life is weird. You got to learn to slow down and appreciate the absurdity of it all. Lesson number 4. You will do great things in your life. It's okay to celebrate your successes. Over the years, Teddy has had some pretty sweet victory dances, and with good reason. He defied the odds after going 0-525, so I would expect those poses in the winner's circle to be pretty spectacular. Teddy, let's pretend you're coming down the final stretch. You and George are neck and neck. You got 20 yards to go when all of a sudden George trips and ensures your victory. You easily coast through the tape and take the checkered flag. What do you do next? he's got some style. Looking out into the sea of scarlet in Columbia blue in front of me, I see some serious style as well. You guys have some major hardware. Some of you have many different chords, an NHS stole, and 12 different academic medals, and let me tell you, that is certainly way more than I ever had by the time I graduated from high school. These are some amazing accomplishments, and you certainly deserve to be recognized for your hard work and your dedication. Others in the class have yet to hit their stride, but are destined to do great things in the coming years, and I can't wait to hear of those successes as well. No matter what you have already done or what you have yet to do, it's okay to celebrate yourself every now and then. Go ahead and make that humble brag on Instagram. Go on that celebratory Taco Bell run. Have a bunch of friends get together on a Friday night to celebrate just you being awesome. You certainly deserve it. As I begin to wrap this speech up, I'm reminded of just one last lesson taught to me by my good friend, Mr. Roosevelt. This one doesn't come from a baseball field, but from his time as the Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Navy. Secretary Roosevelt was quoted as saying, "The only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything." As we all go our separate ways in the next couple of months, I'm going to charge you with just one task. Don't become the subject of this quote. Go out and do things. Pursue something you find interesting. Try something new, something others wouldn't normally expect you to do. Go out and start a garage band. Try a new sport. Create a new club at college. Start the next ridiculous dance craze. Run a marathon. Or actually, better yet, run for president. Whatever you do, just do something. And remember, only a dead fish goes with the flow.